everybody. Welcome to Bad Science Sunday, where we take a comedic approach to debunking science misinformation on the internet. And today, oh my gosh, I'm really excited. I have the famous Christopher Maute.
Mm.
So, and I was actually saying I wanted to kind of give you your introductions. I was going to introduce you to my co-host, Dr. Tapioca Weasel, who is an actual baby and also kind of an online baby. He says he's not new to our corner of the internet, but he has been in school and is now newly visible online. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, newly. It's been
Newly, yeah, it's been 3 years.
yeah.
I've been hanging around since like 2017. And Maute, how long have you been here?
Let's see. Originally, I'd say about 15-ish years, so maybe 2010. I started with a different channel. I started doing some original material, but I was originally, of course, I'm one of Spooky's biggest fans. I started on a channel called the New Covenant Group, which still exists, I believe, the
Really?
NCG.
Okay.
And yeah, so that was my original. It was religion. New Covenant Group was like a non-denominational Christian sect, and I wasn't Christian, but I was the token atheist, and I had a show called Meeting of the Minds, where I would have guests that I disagreed with to demonstrate that you can have conversations without being disagreeable.
You still do that.
It's my shtick.
Yeah, it's kind of your thing. You and the Holy Spackle,
Yeah,
and I love her. She's a friend of the show. She's been on, I want to say twice. And
you
then
show on every week. What are you talking about?
I know I don't know what I'm talking about, and my mic doesn't know my what do you call it? My camera doesn't know what it's doing, and yeah, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting show. um, but yeah, when I got here, there were a number of people I think that are still here. But like I remember when I was a newbie, there
Yeah.
was you, Spackle, Spooky, Titan. Sokka, holy crap! I saw
Yeah.
Sokka for the first time yesterday in your
That's
side
the first
chat.
time I've seen him, probably since the last time you've seen him. He just
Yeah,
popped up out of
Sokka,
nowhere like a genie. He was conjured.
yeah. That was nuts. And exiled. Oh god, that hurt my heart. Um, but I mean, just like the old, yeah, man. And so I'm not. So when we say old guard, we are talking about people like, yeah, you're over there, Maudie, Spackle, Titan, Spooky. People were here back before YouTube, back in the Google Plus days, back when, the rest of us were just like, you know, what's
Well,
the internet?
unfortunately,
Uh,
time-wise, there is a very specific time that or event that denotes old guard from new guard,
okay.
without naming any names, a community called the Great Debate Community was this very controversial event, and everyone who kind of not necessarily was involved, but was in the environment where that was created, I
Mhm.
consider them old guard.
So can you
And
talk
then,
about the original Great Debate Community? Because I know a certain
if you want,
transphobic asshole has it right now. But before all that happened, you were
Mhm.
there like kind of at its inception. Am I right?
Of that version of the Great Debate Community,
The pre-transphobic asshole version of it, yeah. Back in the
yes,
Google Plus days.
indeed, indeed.
Yeah, that's what I want you to talk about.
Okay. So that was mostly dominated by Thunderfoot and Aaron Ra. Dillahunty's atheist experience was still mostly not closed circuit, but what do they call that? Cable access.
Cable, yeah,
Cable
yeah.
access with just like reruns posted on YouTube. So that's how kind of young everything was. the newest argument that had come along up until that point. So hopefully people who are familiar with apologetics and proselytizers
Everyone
and
here.
that whole shtick will know what I'm talking about. For those who don't, ask friends. But up until that point, there was a apologetic called evidentialist, and it was mostly promoted by Kent Hovind, who has had a long and sordid history since that began. And Kent Hovind was a popular punching bag because he was so savvy in his propaganda pseudoscience that he had slick slides and videos and arguments and a car salesman approach to saying things, very frequent with the Gish Gallop, if you're familiar with that, Dwayne Gish. And it was very creationist scientist, literal interpretations, but it was science. So if you knew anything about science, you could have arguments with him about that. Then the bomb in the most recent Great Debate Community dropped, and that was Cy 10 Bruggenkate's presuppositional apologetics. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, from one weekend to another, everybody who knew everything about physics and cosmology all of a sudden knew everything about philosophy, logic, and syllogisms, right? And
Right.
to be honest, as an atheish person, I thought that it was good in a sense to have to to rise to the level of philosophical literacy, right? So I
Okay.
thought it was good, but then it got weaponized, and that's still happening today. The Darth Dawkins of the world and shit like that.
So when you say it got weaponized, you're talking about people like Darth who
Found a
used it
script
for
and stuck
evil.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen when I came into the community, um, Darth had already found his script,
Gotcha.
but I've seen videos, usually from Spackle and Tom Rabbit, of the Google Plus days of Darth, where
Mm.
he was trying to find. I don't know. It reminds me of like I don't know. They do video games now, but maybe you might be as old as me. Maybe you're younger. Where there were books, and then you would like depending on like where you wanted to go, it would be like go to
Choose your own
page.
adventure.
Yeah, choose your
Yeah.
own adventure. Thank you. Yeah, and then it's like, do you want to do this? Go to page 9. If you want to go to this, go to page 12. And that kind of reminds me of what Darth is doing with his like if you well, okay. When I came to the meat community, that felt like what Darth was doing. Now it's just like you didn't choose page 12. You're evil. Like I'm going to beat you to death. And
Yeah.
it yeah.
And
So
it's
sorry.
devolved because, like all humans, we are anticipating what the other person's gonna say. And so Darth
Hmm.
has what and but I've gotten Darth to sing Kumbaya live on video. Darth is from a similar part of
How
Jersey
did
that
you
I'm
not bring
originally
that
from.
with you?
I don't even know where it is anymore. I
Oh,
know that it exists.
that
Titan
is a
saw it.
cardinal sin, sir.
Titan saw it. Well, he and I have
Titan sees
unfortunately we have
everything.
a good relationship. I've left a bridge between he and I, so we can still talk. Disagree. We totally disagree. Regardless, he seeing what's coming next just wants to shoot down everything. Now, keep in mind the argument he's using isn't meant to enlighten anything. It's meant to shut mouths. So
Yes,
he kind of took the subtlety of let's take your assumptions of could you be wrong and work that out internally to its logical end, right?
hmm
Which is a time consuming process. And
indeed.
he just like cuts to the chase. He's like, "You're wrong, asshole." And like so it's a completely different game, right? And from my
Yeah.
perspective, the only way to win that rigged game is to not play.
Yeah, yeah. Just give him the airlock if you see him.
Mm.
I know that there are some Discord servers that still, for whatever reason, allow him in, and I've seen the conversations there. Yeah, it's just it just keeps devolving. There's no. Um, I can't. I mean, like, it's not even about winning anymore. You can't have a conversation with the man. It's insane.
it's not just him. I mean, this was
Right,
my
sure.
shtick. My shtick back in the day was I wanted to offer a dinner table in a world of
Hmm.
the octagon.
Yeah, and you
Um,
were doing that even, I want to say, during the pandemic. You were using your channel to do that, correct?
well, during the pandemic, I had so uh, I don't know how to frame this. My version of crazy
Hmm.
dictates that when I see a need for help, I want to provide it. And I'll be perfectly honest. I have bipolar, right? And anxiety. So and I think it's kind of important for like
Can't relate.
middle-aged white dudes to say that and admit to it and just be cool with it. It's just what my fucking brain does. That said, I knew if I was feeling a certain way that I wasn't the only one. And I know that I can't help everybody, but I can do videos where I'm cooking and talking about mental health and making sure that like at least the signal is being put out there that it's okay to feel anxiety. There's a place to go where you're not going to get into arguments with Darth Dawkins, right? Like it's, and I called it the good and all hangs. And it was
Yeah.
like the metaphor was good and all was a prescription strength drug for the fuck it alls.
No, I remember that. And yeah, it would just be on Sunday. I think you started cooking, and but they would be like 2 to 4 hour hangs where people could just go
Yeah.
in and talk and release. And it was for those who needed it, very therapeutic.
It was wonderful for me too. I mean, being able to catch up with my friends and bust the balls, and it's like, and for me, being Italian American, on Sundays you make a big meal, you leave your back door open, people from the neighborhood come in, they come and go. The kitchen is where the conversation happens. It's always
Mhm.
during food cooking. So to me, that was like the virtual version of that. The only thing that was missing was like coffee all day and Entenmann's crumb cake on the table. If for those of you familiar with Entenmann's brand pastries.
Yeah. Um, but for $2, the sinister porpoise says, "Yes, yes, we are Weasel. Heart, magnet, magnet, magnet. Thank
Yeah,
you, porpoise." Uh, Dr.
Porpoise.
C, would you like to respond to this?
I don't think no,
The
no.
porpoise paid good money.
Yeah, well, yeah, then she put magnets in it, so
I
Our friend here loves magnets. You have no idea.
don't
hey,
think his title says something very different. As a
there we
critical
go.
thinker, I'm picking up cues that counter what you're saying.
Exactly. Yes. Thank
Hey,
you. I
It's all a
feel
ruse.
heard.
No, no, no. He loves magnets. Chad, back me
No.
up on this.
Yeah.
listen, magnet. How do they work? It's like a mirror.
Demonology.
I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just to get it out of the way, you had been I guess I don't want to say close to McCrae because I don't think that anybody really could be. You had a lot of conversations with him.
I love that you're asking these questions. This is great. I haven't had to
You
talk
know
about
what?
this in so
There's so few of us left from pre 2020. Um,
long.
and I made Spackle do this too. She can tell you. She
Oh,
talks about oh god, she had a lot of conversations with McCrae, G-Man,
G-Man.
Darth. Oh, who else? There a lot of the crazy people because the Holy Spackle. She was the one who was like
She
trying to
is.
spackle,
She keep it
like
together, baby.
broken relationships back together. And
We
I
love the Holy Spackle.
we do. She's amazing, and
All right, so I'm
I do
ready now. So,
consider her an internet friend.
what would you like to speak about Mr. McCrae about?
So recently he's gotten a lot of press for being a transphobic asshole who's, yeah,
What
I
do you
mean, I
mean
think
by
that kind of
press?
wraps it up on a, huh?
What do you mean by press?
Let's say
Like
press.
he's
Okay.
making the rounds on people's algorithms on
Yeah, very
YouTube?
recently, on YouTube. Uh, yeah, for yeah.
Okay.
Mostly I want to say Twitter, and very recently Planner Walk interacted with him, and as he does whenever he interacts with a trans person, he
Mm.
just flips the fuck out. That and I so there was a simul stream with FTE Planner Walk that also featured Dapper Dinosaur, friend of the show, Vishanti, friend of the show, and also Bree Hiveside should have been in there if I had. And Dapper did tell us he was doing it, and I kind of wish I understood what he was saying he was going to do, because I would have loved to get Bree um, in that stream, because he did like it was in the he had an interaction with her where she was trying to explain to him how wrong he was,
Mm.
and he just did this like transphobic tirade against her, and it was mean, undeserving, and just false. So
Well, from Steve McRae, like, what do you expect?
exactly what happened.
Like,
But I
Steve
don't
McRae is
think that
a
she
coward.
got like the I mean she really should have really wish she'd been in that stream, because she did not get the recognition she deserved from that. She when she sees injustice on the internet, she goes hard, and she loves
Mhm.
hard, and just I don't know. It still bothers me that I couldn't do more for her after that. But
Yeah, I'm
I don't
sorry
know.
that that happened.
Yeah, and I personally fight this hard line where I want to be a staunch fighter of injustice, but I also don't want to be a white knighter, right? I can't go in fighting everybody's fights for them.
Fair.
So
Well, speaking
that,
of white knighting, like
yeah.
when I interviewed you, I brought up my concern. Or this, I think this was after we stopped recording, where we were just
Hmm.
shooting the shit.
Hmm.
I'm allowed to curse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that would have been tough. Well,
Yeah, same.
I I had concerns because my channel has to do with race pseudoscience, and being
Hmm.
white, my race is the one who perpetrated the race pseudoscience. And so,
Understand.
as a middle-aged white, like, does the world need another middle-aged white guy doing the
Yes.
scientific analysis?
Yes.
That was the answer that you gave, right?
We need
So,
all
like,
of them doing that thing, so that none of you are doing the thing like that. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. More of this, please.
So, to that end, I have the same feelings, and I'm sorry that that event happened. Is it to Bree?
Yeah, Brie
Like
from
Steve
her.
yelled at Bree?
It was bad.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
I'm
but
sorry that happened. I don't
yeah.
know I don't know. There's a room in my brain for Steve McRae because yeah, I'm just going to say it. He's so simple that audience capture is much more powerful to him. And MAGA is attention getting right now.
Yeah.
And he goes where the attention is. And,
Yes.
you know, like I said, there's room in my head for it. Insecure people live in the world, on Earth, with the rest of us. But watching him, watching, it's like, it's like watching the essence of a human deteriorate live in front of you.
Yes. Yes.
Like every choice is just the worst one. Of all the choices that are available, his superpower is choosing the worst one.
And it was so weird watching it, because I had kind of a back rows like seat into watching it happen real time, right? Where, you know, everybody, when I came in, everybody was still like I came in like right as non sequitur started,
Okay.
and like it was like had been going for maybe 3 or 4 months when I entered the community, and then and I got introduced to so many cool people, like friend of the show, ProLib, Mikey
Mm.
Famine, Dapper Dinosaur. I was introduced to him through McCrae, you,
Mhm.
Spackle. I could go on and on and on, really. And so
Now,
there
I
was a
was
part
out of
of
the
me that
scene.
wanted to think like, all the people are surrounding him, how could he possibly be this bad? But in talking to people, it's like, no, we were holding him together. Like he's always been this bad. And that's been slowly coming out.
Well, I
And
wasn't holding them together. I wasn't really. I was out of the
right,
loop.
right.
Like
Gotcha.
I need to be honest. I was.
No, that was the place to be because apparently it was
Yeah.
taxing mentally.
Um. Yeah. Well, you have to keep in mind that the original community
Hmm.
wanted to be organized, and he took the helm. And so everybody was like, ah, someone's going to finally do the work that nobody wants to do. And
Right.
then everybody soon realized that it was in the wrong hands. And then the momentum had already, like, there was enough people that wanted it to get done, and then choices were trying to be made, and all of them were shitty. Um, he tried to recruit, like my interactions with him were just like downhill from that point forward. He used my name, like one instance is he used my name on the intro thing as part of this community that he was building before it started. And in that same intro, he said some crazy shit about reason and logic. And so, first of all, I never volunteered to be part of the network. And second, I don't agree with it. It's the reason why I didn't want to be part of it. So I asked him to remove it. And that process was hair splitting, tooth pulling, where I was like, buddy, I know it takes time to render a video, but you do not have my permission to promote your shit with my name. And like, so like that was like, oh, this is who this fucking asshole is. So, after I dropped out of the scene, apparently apparently rumors had spread that I attempted to take over or usurp the GDC, which is like so funny and comic booky. But again, he's a coward. So what do you expect? When I'm not around, he has a lot to say, and when I am around, he runs like a fucking coward.
It's not just you. He does not like strong men, which I have thoughts on, but I'm not trying to be a shit poster. I wanted to one clear the air because I don't want it. I know because of when I entered the community, I do know a lot of people that were around. I don't want anybody to think that one, I'm trying to cover for him in any way, shape, or form, or withhold information, or because there's a lot of information I know that I'm not airing out just to protect the innocent because it's one, I'm not a shit streamer, and two, he's caused a lot of pain. So
He has. He's not a good person.
he's
And
still
so
streaming.
I
I
think the
want to
best,
let enough come out to where people understand this is not somebody we support. And that is on brand for me, where I'm like, hey, see this person? Look at this face. Don't go there because
he's not he's not a
yeah,
serious person, a person
yeah,
to be taken seriously. He's not competent. He's not trustworthy. He doesn't have
no,
any of the social characteristics of somebody that you should be attracted to.
yeah.
Wow. I
It's
love
such a,
I'm
I love
being
how
nice.
yeah,
yeah, it's just
yeah,
it's such a thorough way of insulting someone. They have none of the characteristics that you
I
should.
know.
like there's
Wow.
just no,
Savage.
yeah, this person has no qualities that you should like. If there's anything over here that that seems endearing at all, please talk to a shrink. You
Steve,
need
let's be
professional
clear.
help.
Steve McRae is a booger on the lip of the internet. Clip that.
Oh, I'm sure someone will. But yeah, I just again, I'm not a shit streamer. I'm not
Mhm.
that's not what this stream is going to be is going to be about. We're going in a totally different direction. But again, I don't want it to sound like I'm hiding anything from my community. If you guys walk off a cliff, it is not going to be because of anything that I held back on any person, be it Steve McRae, Bigot Bob, Derek Lambert. I mean, and again, I don't have anything to say negatively about Derek at all, outside of like he kind of seems like a grifter, but whatever. Um, I understand that times are rough. Derek wants to provide for his family, and he's decided to throw all marginalized communities out of the under the bus to feed his family. and that's a choice he's made. I am going to acknowledge it, and we're going to move on. And that goes, for anyone else I see that is in our community exhibiting these behaviors. I'm not going to be silent on it. But again, for $2, the Sinister Porpoise said, "Are magnets or linear matrix algebra more evil?"
Magnets. Why would matrix algebra be evil? There's nothing wrong with matrix algebra.
Okay. Since I am not familiar with both, I guess I have to defer to my co-host. I don't know. Maute, what do you think?
Are more evil?
More evil.
I would say magnets.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Like
So,
magnets
Okay.
are like threatening. There are things you could say or make with magnets that linear matrix algebra it was just theoretical. I'm going to go with
yeah,
I'm going to go
it's an abstract
magnets are
thing.
applied science.
Yeah. Well, I mean, science. They're concrete manifestations of evil in reality, whereas matrix algebra is or linear algebra is, a branch of mathematics. And I love mathematics.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And all I mean magnets are evil because like you could hurt somebody you could throw a magnet at someone and hurt them. So in
I
that way
mean,
you can't throw algebra at somebody.
No, I mean you
hmm,
could can you?
Can you throw algebra at someone?
You can
Doesn't it
try.
and
become
and
geometry at
hurt
that
them.
point?
And hurt them. Can you throw algebra at somebody and hurt them? That is the question.
Mm,
Oh, yeah. Well,
All right. So
mm.
I threw the question at the chat. Magnets are not, it's not looking good for magnets. People seem to think they're pretty evil.
yeah.
Deservingly so. So here's the next question. Which are more evil, magnets or lemon bars? That split.
Oh, what?
Lemon bars
No.
are
What's wrong?
way
Lemon
more
bars
evil.
are fucking
What?
The
are
way that you
delicious
feel
after dinner.
tapioca, the
What?
way that
No,
you
they're
feel
a
about
delicious
magnets,
after dinner treat.
no, no.
No.
What's the hate against lemon bars coming from?
Oh, lemon bars can go fuck themselves,
Okay. Well,
right? Lemon and curd do not belong in the same sentence. Don't like it.
okay.
I like lemons. Don't get me wrong. Lemonade is delicious. Lemon Italian ice all day. Lemon bars, lemon curd. Ugh.
Yeah, they came
Ugh.
from the same branch of hell as magnets, apparently.
Yeah. Or a magnet made of lemons.
Um,
Is that even possible?
I think that would
I
tear
don't.
space time
I
Hmm.
don't know.
of
Would that
disgust and evil.
ooh.
You could make a battery out of lemons, and then you could use that to make a magnet,
Take this fucking show
an
on the road, bro.
electromagnet. Yeah. Damn it. Uh,
All right, all right. It's been a half an hour of I'm sorry. Okay.
talking.
All right. So because it's oh god, was it 10 o'clock on the East Coast? Do the elevator pitch for the new iteration of your channel before we move on to the video.
Absolutely. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Christopher Maute, and my channel is called The Otherhood. It's called The Otherhood because I consider the otherhood the neighborhood for people that have been othered, usually people that have been marginalized because of shitty or pseudoscientific ideas like eugenics or scientific racism. The purpose is to debunk the pseudoscientific racism that had started with eugenics and Galton and even before then, and exists now with citizen scientific racists, as well as remnants and vestigial thoughts revolving around ideas that were first started in scientific racist journals. I really focus on things like the 1994 publication of the Bell Curve because it has a lot of the core origins of current scientific racist thoughts, like there are race differences in IQ, that race is a real thing genetically, that IQ is mostly caused by genetics. All of those things are specific points that I debunk. And so if you're into equality, civil rights, actual evidence-based arguments against racist ideology, check out my channel.
Oh, we love all those things here. Oh, yeah, I have it on a good authority that that we are either the woke mob or part of a woke mob. Um, Not really sure
According to
what
whom?
bigots.
All right.
Which I wish I had merged because I would have fucking shirt made. I've got to be able to find that. It's got to be out there. But yeah. So okay, what are we gonna do? You know what? I think I forgot to add him over here. I stop doing that. This is bad. Oh, hold on. That down. All right. Why don't? While I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, here we go. Can you tell us what we're doing? Uh,
Yeah. We are today's video is titled Mass Psychostics. Mass psychosis. We're surrounded by stupid people. How to escape. I feel like we're going to agree with that. And the channel is the Psyche, who have a startling 227,000 subscribers, and this video from a month ago, a little over a month ago, has almost exactly 200,000 views.
it's a hell
So
of a conversion rate.
yeah,
I mean,
I
even if
guess
it weren't, that's way too many people watching this shitty video.
yeah, yeah.
And so, okay, both Maudie and Vandy hate this video for different reasons. I wanted to cover it.
But to be clear, we hate all the videos we cover.
There is that. I wanted to cover it because this is one of at least 20 videos that were making the rounds last month. And it's obscene. And they're all saying more or less the same thing. So I think that not that psychology misinformation is new on the internet, but I don't know why this topic in particular was had so many videos going in the month of August and early September, but I thought there should at least be one person countering it. And since Marty, how do you pronounce your last name anyway? I always everybody calls you Marty. Is that how you pronounce it?
Maute. So the way
Maudi.
that my
Gotcha. Audi.
my mnemonic device is, if you say hi to me and it rhymes, you're pronouncing it correctly. Howdy Maute.
Howdy, Maudi. All right, that made me giggle. What is your education, your background, like your
My education, my bona fides.
yes, all those things.
So I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have an associate's, or a certificate, I should say, not an associate's. I have a certificate in music performance, jazz, electric bass. But aside from that, I'm hearing a little echo.
Oh, you know what? All
Check, check,
right,
check.
is that
Oh, it
better?
went away. Can you still
Perfect.
hear me?
I hear
Yep.
you fine.
Egg salad. And I went to school, graduate school for music therapy, but I never graduated because after 2 years of going to school, I determined that I did not want to be a music therapist. And
What?
then
Why not?
I got a master's degree in science communication after that. And so for the
I
past
love that.
25 years, I've been managing a laboratory that studies the psychology of the sense of smell. And I just recently got a different position in the same center, doing multimedia communications. So I'm in charge of the YouTube channel and making in-house videos for the Science Center. Oh, I also teach. I'm sorry. For the past 20 years, I've taught at the college level. I taught at a place called University of the Arts in Philadelphia, and I just recently stopped accepting contracts from Rutgers University Camden.
Oh, right. And you were saying earlier that's why you've been streaming more, right?
I have more time. Fortunately, life has opened opportunities such that I don't have to. I love teaching, but I happen to live so far away from Camden that it is that the distance plus my age make it somewhat untenable. So fortunately, I can say no to the contracts, and that gives me a lot more time to work on this stuff.
Um, And for $2, the Sinister Porpoise says, Petty Officer Shipwreck was great and improved my hat collection. So she actually, when she was streaming on the Sinister Porpoise channel, she made a lot of videos debunking a lot of things that McCrew said. And yeah, she got a couple of pennies from it. And then she has a fabulous hat collection. She's quite the lady. Thank you, Porpoise.
The best hats.
All right. Do we want to start from the beginning?
I was going to ask you that. Where do you want to start?
The good stuff. Get to the good stuff.
There's no good stuff.
So he starts with, imagine waking up one morning and finding that almost everyone around you is acting irrationally, not just eccentric, but truly disconnected from logic, reason, even the basic self-awareness. Now imagine realizing that it wasn't just a dream. Like you went outside and talked to people, and your worst nightmare of actually going outside and talking to people was actualized because you were right. You were actually living in an idiocracy. Okay, maybe I'm taking a little liberties with the liberties.
I love it. Dramatic readings by Maya.
All right, not quite as good as Vishanti. I don't know. I don't have that video here, but yeah. So, are you familiar with Richard Carrier?
Oh my God, that was so funny.
I know a little bit about Richard Carrier.
Oh my God. Andy,
yeah, he has a new book, okay, called Obsolete Paradigms, something about how the entire field of people, basically all scholars who believe that the historical Jesus existed, that they're all stupid and it's an obsolete paradigm. So he's got this new book, and nobody in the field agrees with him. And
still,
yeah. And and so he sent it out for peer review, and it got savaged. The reviews came back basically saying this doesn't even engage with the field, which is a pretty harsh call out when you're it's not even wrong.
I was just about to say that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And that was what I said. I was like, it's not even wrong. And so he posted on his blog about all of this and has this paragraph. And 2 weeks ago, Vishanti, myself, and Kip were on Kip's Budget Scripture Saturday, and we were responding to this, and he talks about how because these peer reviewers didn't have any counter arguments, because he's not even wrong, that actually the fact that I didn't pass peer review means that I passed peer review. And Vishanti did a dramatic yeah. He says it almost in those words.
Yeah. Well, the peers that are reviewing it are the ones that I'm critiquing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right? The ones the peers that are reviewing it are the ones that are critiquing it and are the ones that I'm critiquing. So of course, not getting their approval is the best approval there is. That kind of thing.
Yeah, basically. And so instead of sending it or trying to think about and improve his argument or anything, he just labels himself a martyr and publishes, and but the gall, the audacity of this argument it was remarkable.
It was bad. And so Vishanti did a dramatic reading of, pretty much just of him, and then, okay.
Yeah.
Vishanti, during Budget Scripture Saturday, which is Dr. Kip's knockoff of my show, let's be honest. It was just so dramatic and over the top, but very apropos.
Yeah.
So Kip takes out that segment and pretty much sets it to music. It has Carrier, just like talk, like with cutouts, like talking like
with
a
the
puppet.
cutout mouth like going
Yeah,
up, yeah, like that, and then
yeah, and
tears
tears.
streaming from his
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah. And you could just hear, like, you could hear the tears coming through, coming. I mean, just from it's on his blog, right? You can hear the tears coming out of his blog. You can hear him tightly clutching his pearls. You could just feel the fainting spell
Oh,
on, about to
It,
emerge. It was beautiful, and I can't remember why I brought this up, because it's
because I
hilarious.
asked you to do a dramatic reading.
yeah, that was
Oh, yeah, yeah. And my
it,
whole point was I cannot do it the
it was great.
justice that Vishanti did. But it was amazing. Um, amazing. Anyways, so I did find, I want to say Mark 110 on the video, where he's going to tell us what we're discovered today.
Okay, yeah. So share it with. Okay, yeah. Let me just. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, here.
That's fine.
Has the power to shift not just your thinking, but your entire reality. Let us begin this journey of illumination. Let's define a brutal truth. Human beings are not always rational. Despite our access to science, history, philosophy, and countless tools for critical thinking.
I would agree with that. But we should address. This is what we're gonna get. Is a lot of AI artwork and
Yeah. It's way better than the last video of only AI artwork. But full disclosure, it will be only AI artwork and an AI voice. And you are welcome.
Mm.
Yes, Dr. Davis, high quality AI slop, nothing but the best for you. Mwah, mwah. So I don't disagree with this statement, but I also want to put the caveat that we did not evolve in a way to where it was necessary to process our world intuitively. We're social creatures, and rationality was needed to a point. And after that, it was more important to be cohesive. So, and again, I don't know. Maybe Maute, you can back me up on this. It takes thinking critically takes a lot of brain power. Our
It does.
brains don't want to do it. We have really sacrificed a lot. Like a lot. Like when you look at our cousins, like the other great apes,
Mm-hmm.
we have sacrificed so much just to be able to think, to the point where we have. And I'm not even sure. I go back and forth about whether or not it was the right choice, honestly. Because I feel like we're thinking to a fault, honestly, where we are killing ourselves and the world around us for things that we like but don't
Mm-hmm.
need. Um, so that,
Well, let's remember that there have been whole cultures built
mhm,
around mindfulness and religions
yeah,
that have existed for dynasties.
yes,
And so my take on what was said so far is that it is absolutely true. And also what you're saying, in parallel, what you're saying is true
hmm,
as well. The way I look at it is humans are mostly rational in our day-to-day,
mostly,
but we're also predictably irrational.
yes.
So our rationality based on survival, and let's also keep in mind that
Are we doing wolf sightings?
well,
nice.
see, it's unclear, but some of these might be wolves in sheep's clothing. So I'm gonna say zero. But
Okay,
this is a callback to
the
a thing
last
from
AI
previous.
slop video. Sorry, I'm sorry. I cut you off. That was rude. Please forgive me. But ADHD.
Okay.
So with the last AI slop video, there were just wolves randomly standing in
In the
water.
river. Yeah, just
Yeah,
river wolves.
uh, on the side of buildings, in fire. It
Hmm.
was weird.
That sounds weird.
But yeah, okay, let's move forward.
We often behave like a flock of sheep chasing imaginary wolves. Throughout history, we've seen empires.
Wolf
Sheep
sighting.
chasing wolves? This one is definitely a wolf, right? Look at this. There's no way that's real sheep.
Oh, yeah.
Although I think they just turn into rocks as they go back, right? Like you got sheep in the
Yeah.
front, and then and by the time they're back here, they're just rocks.
Well, I mean, you can't have it can't be too detailed. Apparently, providing detailed pictures is like asking humans to be rational.
Yeah.
Collapse not from external enemies, but from collective delusions that eroded them from within. This is not new. In the 17th century, philosopher René Descartes warned that the senses could deceive us, but he had no idea how much society as a whole could deceive itself. Today, psychologists
So I don't
refer
even
to
understand like why that was necessary to put in here.
If our senses can deceive us
Hmm.
individually, I think that is extrapolating that we can be deceived by our environment and therefore society.
I mean, he could just like cite a study, rather than saying, "Hey, a guy said this once." I mean, maybe it's just me.
Well, the idea that the senses can deceive you was,
Mhm.
for Descartes' time, was like was a
Hey,
major argument about
this.
whether
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh,
About weather.
about whether or not, well, he was a dualist, right? He thought that
Hmm.
the mind and body were separate. So the reason why he thought that is because, well, we can't rely on our senses, right? Our senses can deceive us, and we can't rely on our memories because we remember our dreams, and our dreams aren't real, right? So all of these are actually kind of eloquent arguments in the philosophy of mind. But I think this guy's just very passively bringing it up, being like, hey, senses can be deceived. You know what else can be deceived? Everybody about everything. Mass psychosis.
All I heard was padding the runtime, but I don't disagree with you. For $2, Jester says thoughts on magnetic rods from God.
The rods from God idea is basically was an idea that I guess some people took somewhat seriously, of putting giant metal, like just solid chunks of metal, like blocks of tungsten, in orbit, so then they could deorbit them and have them just smash into something. It turns out that this is not a very good idea, for a number of reasons. It's not that easy to do that, and if you can do that, there are other things that are going to be a lot more effective. Making them magnetic is just rude. So I don't. Yeah, there.
That
I
was the
don't.
thing that okay. I was today years old when I learned about this. I was
Yeah,
like, you're not
I
like
don't think it
making
was ever
this
actually
up.
done. No, I'm not making this up. It was. I don't remember exactly what decade it was like a popular idea in. Um, it sounds like it sounds like something from the 80s or something. I don't know, but it's it,
Interesting.
like, yeah, like if it's just, yeah, not
All
that
right.
great idea. But I will say, a giant tungsten pillar falling on you from low Earth orbit.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a whole lot you're going to be able to do to stop that, other than go way underground. So, like it would sort of work if you hit your target.
Kelly says algebra, no matter what, scares the fuck out of me. You know
That's
what? There's a Dr. Kip in the chat, and I believe that he agrees with you wholeheartedly.
Math is fun.
Math is fun. Unless you're Dr. Kip, or in Kelly, in which case it scares the shit out of you. And volcanoes. Were you around for the Dr. Kip
but
doesn't know shit about volcanoes day?
but he thinks they're all pointy.
Yeah, pointy fire rocks, I believe, is how that went down.
This as mass formation psychosis, a phenomenon where large groups of people lose touch with reality, becoming absorbed by false narratives, emotional hysteria, or manipulative ideologies. But what triggers this collapse of reason? The brilliant psychiatrist Carl Jung described how the psyche, when cut off from meaning, purpose, or spiritual anchoring, becomes vulnerable to mass suggestion.
When he is he talking about psyche as a collective phenomenon here? And by he, I mean the AI voice. or I guess Jung.
Maute, howdy. I'm gonna try to Maute. Now I feel all like extra. What do you call it? New Jerseyan. So Maute.
So Carl Jung did believe in the collective unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So whether AI dude is talking about that or an individual psyche, because they're already bleeding things that shouldn't be bled together, like the Descartes thing jumping off from there. It's like this weird slippery slope of, hey, we all know that we're not rational all the time. Cool. So now accept a fucking mouthful of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at too, where it's just like, okay, I could parse this out and try to make sense of it, which is my preference, but then I feel like it is my preference, and Tap gives people way too much grace. To be clear, my issue is there comes a point at which you can give too much grace, right? And you're no longer steel manning, you're apologizing, if that makes sense. Because I mean, I don't know. I watched this. Oh, I probably should have prefaced why I so here's my issue, right? And man, I really should have done this like half an hour ago before we started the video. Why am I subjecting this to you? I never told you that. I just gotta push the issue. It's like, it's my show, it's my show. Do what I say. And that's not what I like to do. I would love to have you come back on to talk about eugenics or, whatever your ish happens to be at that time. And I don't want to let that go 100% because, again, patron saint of woke bitches. Like that's my ish too. And actually, I've started a Tuesday show where I am subjecting middle-aged people to 4chan memes so they could all get on board with what is happening in the country.
Oh, no.
And perhaps help me cut through the bullshit. Because shit just got weird, just like really weird, right? But the issue I'm having with, I'll just say this atheist community, because I can't even good conscious call this something that's coming out of a skeptic community, is this bastardization of things that are coming out of psychology, sociology, and medicine. I need to get Dr. Ben back on here because there's so much stuff we could go through with this. But just, little things like, Joe Biden has full-fledged dementia and therefore we shouldn't vote for him. Or, Christians are completely mentally delusional and therefore we should treat them like shit. Or wait, it's not mentally delusional, but I think it is like like religion is like a psychosis or some bullshit they say that drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's a mental illness.
Mental illness, yeah, that thing there. I kind of, it makes me want to punch my monitor when I see shit like this because I don't like people cherry picking things and then saying, oh, this is exactly 100% like that. And And another thing was, and I think I got people to come around on the fact that ADHD is not on the spectrum.
Uh,
They're commonly
yeah.
found together, but
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just
yeah.
not.
Not all neurodivergence is the same
It's the same.
neurodivergence.
No, yeah. And it's just the thing. And what I see is people picking, and very much like what I'm seeing in this video. And when I think the first thing I threw at you was Drew's video. I'm like, we must take this down. And now I've come down, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to. I'm also very much against making allies enemies. I'd rather just have the conversation, much like you. But what I see this video doing, and what I would like to maybe throw out to the community is, hey, I know that there are things that look like they're the same, but when you dig down deeper, they're not. They just share similar traits that may not even be the same. Um, like when you're really looking at what the brain is doing. So since I generally have about 200 to 300 people come through there. It's not the it's just a small section of the community, and it is not even like a blip on the radar as it comes to like the number of people en masse that are doing this. But I have to get it out there. I need people to understand what your limitations are. It feels like I'm not trying to diagnose anyone, but it feels like a form of Dunning Kruger, where you're like, hey, I see this, therefore it's totally that. And I'm justified because so many other people are saying the same thing. And it's Christian logic, right? I mean, and this is how not only, it's kind of worse because they're actually raised to believe a thing, and it just doesn't occur to them to not think out. For anyone, not, I can't even say them, me, everybody on this panel, you guys as well. You get raised a certain way.
Mhm.
It doesn't occur to you to think outside of the box until you think until you're presented with information, which we'll talk about that in a different stream. It's going to take more than one person, and it's going to take more than one conversation. So I need you to not get frustrated with that. I need you to be open to the idea of having multiple conversations, but also I need you to come out of this cognitive dissonance where, I got out of the religion. I see that as bullshit. That totally vindicates me. And anything that you say is therefore wrong, for so many different reasons. Um, Most of which, primarily at least, you're working against your own best interest with that conversation. You gotta come out of it. But what I want to do with this video is just kind of break down, maybe to help people see what they're doing when they start to do things like this, where it's like, okay, I love that you're looking into a topic and that you're seeing things that remind you of other things. But a lot of people have gone to school and spent their whole life studying this one thing. So maybe you're not right just because of a lot of other people who also have not gone to school for this and have not spent their entire life studying this, happen to believe the same thing that you happen to believe. So that I do apologize for taking a long time and being so preachy with that, but I'm tired of being a keyboard warrior in the side chat about this issue. So I'm just gonna make a stream
Fair
about
enough.
it. And Maute, would you like to correct me on any of that?
Not necessarily. No, I mean the things that you were saying make sense, right? And as they apply to this video,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this script is AI generated because of just how casually it touches on different points in order to move towards its greater point. But Yeah, like it's definitely it's an exercise in watching a slippery slope, right? They're super
Yes.
vaguely referring
Yes.
to things that mean one thing, but they're going to use it in a different way, where it's like they're hijacking an opinion. Like when you say, "Oh
Yes.
man, I didn't really have a good conversation with so and someone else is like, "Yeah, they're a real fucking asshole." It's like, "Well, that is not where I was going with that," right? So
Right.
I mean, that's an exaggerated version, but as what you were saying applies to the video, that's kind of how I'm seeing it. They're so perception very quickly. Perception is based on cues, and they're giving you very subtle cues,
Hmm.
deceptive cues, some would say, in order to guide your perception a certain way.
Yes. All of that. Thank you. All right. Oh, Vandy, I'm sorry. People do this in your field all the time, and you two don't know each other. Can you tell Mr. Maute what you do?
I'm a physicist. I'm an experimentalist. I like work with like lasers and zap atoms with lasers and make
I
them do cool quantum stuff. And
That is
people
not what he does. He
love,
fights crime on the internet.
yeah,
Oh,
people love to take the word quantum and just turn it into whatever the fuck they want. And I mean, not as badly as they do with the word frequency. Um, that's probably like
The bane of everyone's existence.
yeah, like an energy, but at least energy is a more like vague kind of broader sort of. I mean, energy has the capacity to do work, for the record, but um, uh, frequency. I hate it so much when people get just they just they just take words and pick and choose and like choose your own adventure. It's not
yeah.
how it works.
Deepak Chopra, baby.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
did it.
Oh,
We did a
we
Deepak stream, didn't we?
yeah we did.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Right.
He's
What
He's
triggers this collapse of reason?
one of the
The
gifts that
brilliant
keep on
psychiatrist
giving.
yep.
Carl Jung described how the psyche, when cut off from meaning, purpose, or spiritual anchoring, becomes vulnerable to mass suggestion. In his view, when individuals are not grounded in their own identity, they seek it in the herd. And the herd, unfortunately, is often driven by fear, propaganda, and the need to belong, even at the cost of truth. Think about the last few years.
Well, okay, can it doesn't have to, but it can. I think going back to what I was saying earlier, um, I mean, people are malleable, and he's talking about. I don't know. It kind of feels like he's talking about a couple of phenomena that we see. And let me go back to. So he's calling it emotional hysteria, but it's actually just what the brain does. Again, it tries to take the easiest path to get to an answer, just so it doesn't have to think, because thinking takes a lot of energy, really. And which, if you think about, like, I don't know, if you're in school, if you've ever been to school, if you've had to learn something new, if you've ever noticed like why you felt sleepy after that,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's kind of a byproduct of your brain. So like whenever your brain has to think or do anything, oh, I forget the name of the things, but it actually generates these things that start with A, and it will filter them out. But when there's too much, it actually, that's the phenomena that makes you feel sleepy. And so the body's like, all right, there's too much. I can't logically, I can't think with all this stuff going on. I need to clear the head out. And so it will make you sleep, because while you're sleeping, you're not doing things. And so you can get the oh, this is going to drive me nuts. It starts with an A. It can help clear these things out. And so when enough of them are cleared out, then you'll wake up and you can do more things. But it doesn't matter if you're running, if you're thinking, if you're like, just making the brain think. I mean, and it's a bunch of different things. I'm just, you know, um, as it pertains to the video, it takes a lot of brain power. And yeah, a lot of calories. It makes you this is why you get sleepy. Not an aneurysm, eternal sage, but I love how you're here for me. Ooh, woo. I know sometimes, yeah, if you're trying to do math, it certainly feels like that for me when I'm trying to do math in my head. Math on paper, I'm okay with. Math in my head, yeah, no, that's not a fun thing. But the chat's going to make me Google shit now. That's great. Anyways, I say all that to say that the brain is, I mean, it takes a lot for the brain to think, and it is something that we've expended a lot of energy and resources to have happen. So when you see people trying to take the easy way out, it's not because they're lazy, it's not because they're stupid, as you know, this video is trying to make you think. It just really is a natural process of the brain. Or like when we create schemas or stereotypes or all of these things. It's so the brain can do as little work as possible to get you through. It's a survival technique. Maute, you teach on this. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I do. Now, what they're talking about very much seems like, so what you're talking about is heuristics, mental shortcuts, right? We need to have
Yes,
heuristics.
that was the other word I was thinking of.
Yeah, if we can't like predict what's happening and have expectations, and we have to learn everything brand new every 1 second, that's untenable for survival. What is interesting is this, it kind of sounds like this is going towards cult or religious behavior, because when is the recruiting for cults and religion the most effective? When somebody's down and out, when their psyche and identity have been broken, in the words of this piece of shit. So yeah, and that's also natural. Like when you don't have anything to hold on to and somebody offers it, fuck, you take it, you know, and you're appreciative. And because you're appreciative, there's a connection. And then that connection is more than logical, and that's the goal. Right? You haven't been logicked into why you like this person. You're not going to be logicked out when you find out that they're part of a cult or religion or both or just a shitty person.
Yes, all of that. But and I want to say, I can't stress enough how this doesn't make you stupid. It is a natural process of the brain. So if this is something that you want to, this is something that if you're trying to be a skeptic, you need to know, so that you know that you need to fight, because your brain's normal process is to. So this, I don't know. I know, Chris, when we were talking a lot about this, and is that going to be in 3 weeks when that
That
premieres?
is in October. Yeah, 3
October
weeks.
some point. Yeah.
So hold on, let's double click on that. So I interviewed Maya, and that's going to be on my channel coming up in October. And I also have nice little clips that I made of it that are going to be peppered
Cool.
on my channel throughout. So for those of you that haven't subscribed, I suggest you do it if you want to get more of the Maya goddess.
Don't we all?
Yeah, and I will put that. I didn't put anything in the box today because my weekends have been nuts since I moved. So I need to think of something quippy to put into the box, and then we'll.
Yeah. Moving is so disruptive.
It really is. I don't like it. You know what? Play the video, and I'm trying to do 5 different things at once.
And the need to belong, even at the cost of truth. Think about the last few years. Social media, news cycles, cultural wars. We've witnessed people repeating slogans they don't understand, supporting movements they've never researched, and attacking others simply for questioning the mainstream.
1.25?
It is. Yeah, you want me to go faster?
I think I want you to skip ahead because he's not.
Okie dokie.
Is that
where to? Because there's like a little bump here.
Yeah, let's go there. Okay.
Happens when people stop thinking for themselves and start outsourcing their perception of reality
too fast?
to authority.
Well, is that okay? Yeah, I'm good.
I went up to 1.5, so.
Figures, mass media, or popular trends. Ask yourself how many of the opinions you hear every day are truly someone's own. How many are just echoes of what they've been told to believe? This phenomenon intensifies when fear is introduced. Fear is the fuel of collective madness, and those in power
I
knowingly.
yes and no.
This
Um,
is just recycled mysticism. This
yeah,
is the idea, like, if for those of us that, for anyone who has studied esotericism, Gurdjieff's whole idea was that we are in a walking slumber, and the goal is to wake up, right? And that's not where woke started, but woke is kind of like the same idea. But
yeah,
that mystical idea that this, whatever this is tapping into, has existed forever.
We
and
or not,
go ahead. You know, go ahead. That's good. That's good.
have
Go
often
ahead.
used it to drive the herd in whatever direction suits them. From religious crusades to political regimes, from economic panics to health scares, mass hysteria has repeatedly been manufactured and weaponized throughout history. But the most insidious part of all this? When you're surrounded by people who've surrendered to mass psychosis, they don't think they're crazy. They think you are. This reversal is
Okay. Did you want to say something?
I wanted to say that this idea that there's always somebody, this conspiratorial idea that there's always somebody who is intentionally crafting this narrative. Like sometimes sometimes there is, but sometimes there is no head to I guess what they're calling mass psychosis, and
I hate this
people,
term though.
yeah, fair, yeah. Sometimes there is no rhyme or reason to things, and I think it's a heuristic though that people use. It's a lot easier to think as though somebody is there's something that you can blame out there.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't disagree that there are religious and political figures. I mean, obvious, it's very obvious
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they have noticed this about people and actively weaponize it against us. But that's not psychosis. um,
Yeah. What is psychosis?
do you? I'm not.
Doesn't exist. Like, it's not a
Not.
diagnosis. The
Yeah.
closest thing that exists is cluster B. There's a cluster B set of personality disorders, and that's where like narcissistic and histrionic disorders and borderline personality exist.
And yeah, I was going to say I'm not clinical. I'm always very honest about that, and I'm also not.
I'm also not clinical.
Yeah,
My training as a music therapist was 30 years ago.
and yeah, I got my master's degree like 20 years ago. Yeah, no, 15. Sorry. And again, it was not. This is a branch of abnormal psychology, um, and abnormal psych was hard, and I had no interest in dabbling in it. Um, so I didn't. um, and so when we're talking about mass psychosis, though, my understanding of it is it's separate from mass. Oh,
Delusion?
yeah.
Because I thought that psychosis was like the state of like psych the state of like being delusional, basically.
So yeah, I mean, just from perfunctory Google search, this is coming from familydoctor.org, which again, because I'm not clinical, I'm going to defer here, but there's going to be a ton of new. I just know from other stuff that I Google that there's going to be a ton of nuance that needs to go into any of these definitions. It's saying mass psychosis is when people in a group start to feel sick at the same time, which I've seen happen. When you think of like a mass delusion, now we're talking about things like, and as a Catholic, um, a lot. God, nobody told the Pope I said this, but a lot of the saints got sainthood from what I can only assume was mass delusion. Like I can't remember who it was, but there were a number of people who like stared at the sun for 10 minutes.
Yeah, the miracle of the sun is very
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember who that was, but like
there's
I don't know
lots of people.
what else to where else to put that. I mean, again, I was baptized as a Catholic, and every year when they come out with those numbers, I'm in there. I think I don't agree with the Catholic Church on most issues, and I left because I had a very, very, very visceral response to a TOS violation. Um, but I think we all know what I'm talking about. And that was, when I left there and I went to a non-denominational church following, because I felt like the Bible was the word of God. And, I wanted to be spiritually edified, I think is the term. But I was very, very sure that the Catholic Church wasn't the one that was going to be able to do that for me. So that was in the early odds. So I want to say around 2000 or 2001. So break with the Catholic Church on a lot of issues. I know that their stance is that this was a legit IRL miracle, as was attested, and by a number of people. And that's not the only thing. I think there's a lot of people in the chat that could probably give like just tons of examples of when a number of people came forward and said, yes, this miracle actually happens, and therefore a saint was canonized. I don't believe all of those were hysteria delusions. There's another one that's not coming to mind. But certainly when we're talking about mass delusions, staring at the sun for 10 minutes and then, your eyes seeing things
Yeah,
could,
you're gonna hallucinate stuff even if it's like just
you
as a
will
like
hallucinate things.
result from what your eyes are doing.
Right.
It
You
really
will
does.
hallucinate things.
Yeah,
And there's another effect
don't do
of,
that.
oh God, I'm so bad with the names of things. There's another effect that was studied where um, people would see something and then they would hear what other people were saying, and then their recollections would slowly like amalgamate
Mm.
into a shared experience. And that's also another thing that I've seen Catholics do. So a lot of the things, Marty, do you know what I'm talking about? What the name of that thing is?
Where well, there's a group phenomenon, right? So
Yeah,
there's
where everybody's
um,
looking at the same thing, but people are saying that they saw different things. But as they're talking to one another, the experience morphs into something that made they either somebody said and repeated repeatedly, or
mhm.
they all said so much that they started taking in different parts, and until the memory was more or less the same, where they're all saying, oh yes, this happened, whereas if you trace it back 10 years, nobody said it happened this exact way.
Interesting. No, I'm not familiar with that particular phenomenon. Memory is reliably inaccurate
Inaccurate,
over
yeah.
certain periods of time just because of the way that it works. Um, but while I don't know about that phenomenon, there are phenomena when people get together and they have a similar opinion. Let's say they feel a 2 out of 10 about topic X.
Hmm.
When they get together and talk about it for a long period of time, by the time they're done with the conversation, they're a 5 out of 10 on topic X.
Hmm.
So, like, there is the pull of,
Yeah.
social pressures
Yeah.
that, we're all prone to.
Right.
And I think that accounts for a little bit of this. But yeah, it just
And
sounds
there's,
like,
yeah,
like
there's
religion. It just sounds
yeah,
like false beliefs.
yeah, yeah.
Instead of
Well,
mass
it is.
psychosis,
It
it's
is.
just false beliefs. It's the same
Right.
thing with like sick building syndrome or like psychogenic illnesses.
Hmm. Yeah, no, there's two studies that I'm thinking of, and I know one had actors that were like, they were saying things that just did not happen. And I think
Well, there's
at
the
that
very
point, there was like a
popular.
third of people, a third of the people were
Once a
like changed
line.
their mind. No, they changed their mind and said that they
Oh.
saw what they did not see. And then the other one, I think it's the sheriff autokinetic effect, where there's an optical illusion known as the autokinetic effect, where a stationary point in the light in a dark room appears to move. Participants were asked to estimate how far the light moved, and the first individually and then in a group. When in a group, the participants' estimations converged over time until they formed a group norm. And so that's the effect I was talking about. But I've actually seen
Mm.
studies that I don't know what the studies are, and I'm not going to Google all that. I was looking for the effect, but that's the name of the effect, where things move until you get a group.
Like a herding behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. It's not quite groupthink, though. Groupthink would be kind of like
Yeah, it evolves into
not
groupthink.
arguing
Yeah,
against
right.
somebody who's bad ideas, like no one's going to
Yeah,
break. But as
yeah.
soon as somebody does, everybody,
Right.
everyone's
And
on board.
that's a different type of effect. Yeah.
Hmm. And then I
Yeah.
think you were Tapioca. You were talking about the Ash study where there are 3 lines. One's obviously longer because I heard you say something about lines.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
they mention it in the video at some point.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
not. I could be wrong. And I don't know if we'll get to that point.
Probably not. But
So,
yeah, because like I'm thinking about so many different things, and again, ADHD brain, not having not taken my meds, like and probably even on my meds, like I was diagnosed with moderate to severe ADHD. So I don't put more on my brain than it's just a lot to get me to mentally commit to stuff. So what I've decided is I want to remember the thing, the phenomena, and the researcher or the year it was done, or like, like
yeah.
those are things that don't necessarily make it through. Because there's a lot of my master's degree is in behavioral psychology, and I've been doing a lot with there's a new branch. I don't even know if it's an actual branch. Maudie, do you know if political psychology is like an actual branch, or if there's just social psychologists calling them political psychologists?
I'm not familiar with political psychologists.
All right, it's something
News
I've
to me.
noticed. Oh, probably since the pandemic, that's been making my the feeds of my science things. I don't know. I need more coffee. I do apologize. For $2.22, my unfinished song says Hill Maya, Hill Tap, Hill Mott, and Maudie. God damn it. Is Maudie on Blue Sky?
I'm not on Blue Sky.
The nerve.
And I'm only on YouTube. I have no other social media right now.
What's up with that? It's like you want to stay sane or something.
So there's only so many hours in the day. If there's anybody who is familiar with social media platforms that is interested in helping an old man out, it would be
Wait,
just let me know.
Titan Uranus.
At many levels, I know Titan Uranus.
All right, and for $2, Stephen Walsh says conspiracy fact. Yeah, that was 10 minutes ago, so it's probably. Well, all we do here is talk about conspiracies. So
Yeah.
Chilling. Suddenly, questioning becomes dangerous. Curiosity becomes heresy. Silence becomes safer than truth. And in this climate, true intelligence and true sanity becomes isolated. So what can we do? The first step is awareness. As true intelligence
hold
and
on.
true sanity becomes isolated. So what can we do?
Why is do in two different? These are the things I notice.
Because nobody checks this. This is all computer generated. I'll bet you all of its views are bots.
Oh yeah, but like,
Are you calling me a bot?
yeah, I
Yes.
will.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm not calling you a bot.
Yeah, fair.
I mean,
fair.
okay, you actually sent a what do you call it? a meme or something the other day where it's just like, this is like the best AI
Oh yeah,
script that,
it was an AI image that had text in it,
yeah,
and all of the text I think was all technically correct and coherent.
which
Um,
was, yeah, weird.
yeah,
Which does not happen, which makes me wonder,
you know who did it? Monday.
oh, that's interesting. Okay. But yeah, normally I wouldn't expect AI to do this because AI, yeah, it would do the DO thing, but it's been pretty good up until now,
It has been, but there's also a part of this video where it's randomly Spanish.
which is always fun. And it's so freaking interesting. Like, what
uh,
was the prompt that got it to read out in Spanish?
it
While,
read it in English. It typed it in Spanish.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, that's what I mean. That got it to
Yeah,
type out Spanish while the bot was speaking English.
it's so weird. It's
Maybe,
so weird.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna get to that. Let's go.
I can't remember
It,
where
it
it
would be
is.
funny
So
if like the three words preceding that in the script were write the rest, write in Spanish. And then all of a sudden it picked up the prompt and was like, okay, well now the words are in Spanish.
Or if maybe there was like, it has a Spanish channel that, and it,
That only tunes
like,
in halfway through the video.
yeah,
yeah, like I'm thinking like maybe there's a part where it, I don't know, somebody just royally fucked up, right? And it's like, oh, I need to copy and paste something here because I fucked it up. And then instead of the English version of this part, it was the Spanish version. I don't know. I've never ever done my own AI
oh,
stuff.
we will get to it. I think it's in 1 minute roughly.
Okay, let's go.
The first step is awareness. As Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious.
That's not how you. That's not how you spell young.
So what can we do? The first step is awareness. As Jung
No, you're right.
And they got it right before. And this is the same young, right?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
wrote, until you make the unconscious
catch.
conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. In other words, if we don't recognize the forces acting on our minds, we will never escape them.
If you don't make the unconscious conscious,
Yeah, but that's psychoanalysis,
okay.
right? It's delving into the unconscious, finding out why because psychodynamics means dynamics of the psyche, the id, ego, and superego battling
Oh, I
it
remember
out with
those.
each other.
I do remember those. I had to take a test on them. That was fun. And then we never talked about them again. No, I mean, it's just, it's Psych 101. Like, you have to learn those things.
Like, oh, because I mean, yeah, that's what Freud sort of started
Oh yeah,
a
Jung
lot
was
of
a
stuff.
student of Freud.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
ask because I know he's after Freud, but I didn't know if he was sort of like
It,
in that same line because
yeah.
I know that he also goes a lot with like sort of cultural um archetypes are a thing. Jungian archetypes. That's a term
Jungian
I've heard.
archetypes, right? And that's based on the collective unconscious, and that was kind of the jag that Joseph Campbell went on when he did the Hero of a Thousand Faces, comparing all of the myths of the world and their commonalities. And why are they common? Well, because of these archetypes that exist in the collective unconscious, such that no matter where on the globe your culture developed, they all have these similar myth stories. That's a Jungian, Joseph Campbell-y concept as it applies to myth and the collective unconscious.
Okay. Yeah, I don't recall having to test on the collective unconscious.
But to get back to the psyche thing or the psychodynamic part, yes, everything, what was revolutionary about Freud was that he was bold enough to say, you are not in control of your own behaviors. There are things happening like tidal forces underneath the waves that you see that are causing those waves. So even though you think you know why you did what you did, there's other reasons. There's an invisible hand guiding it, right? And that's why he thought he was the Darwin of his times, because natural selection was the invisible hand guiding biology. And Freud thought he was that for psychology.
Yeah,
He has a
took a
complicated
while.
legacy.
Yeah, he really
Mhm.
does. He really does.
Because he was wrong about so much stuff, but like his effort was he was trying to do something that there was a real there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I think true for most fields, especially in their infancy,
Mm.
where you're
Hmm.
looking at the world and you're
No
saying,
pun intended. Infancy, Freud, Oedipal complex.
"Touche,
Sometimes a
sir."
cigar is just a cigar. Okay.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, when it's his cigar. But no, that aside, I think a lot of people looked at the world, and we see this in eugenics. I'm like, well, white men are just so clearly
Yeah.
superior. We must
How's
go
yeah?
out and prove it with
What's
facts.
preventing everyone from being as good as me? Ah, they
Right.
haven't evolved. I'm more evolved. I deserve to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, if you going back in that, has a lot of things that came out of the way that the researchers were raised as well,
Mhm.
that led them to think that way, and rather than letting I don't know, I'm on the fence about this, because ideally you would just want to go out and say, okay, I know nothing, let's see where the science leads us. But in practice, you understand that scientists have interest,
Mm.
that they want to look into, and those interests are going to be formed by their background experiences and things like
Mhm.
that. And so they're inclined to go into certain directions, which
Yeah.
is, again, why we have peer review. And
Mhm.
not
Well,
that
it's
it
appropriate to have biases in what you
yeah,
want to study. It's not appropriate to have biases in how you study it.
yeah, or to throw out charts on of brown people having larger heads because it doesn't fit your
Oh yeah.
uh, the way
Like
you want things
everyone's
to work.
limited to the technology that's available to them. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like just think about the steam engine. That is Freud. Freud is all of this dynamics building up pressure that you need to release through catharsis, right? So that's just a steam engine. Current
Mm.
models of cognitive processing or information processing models that are built on what is the biggest technology right now? Computers. So, like, everything is very culturally based and what is available to you when you're trying to figure shit out. Well, to Freud, what was available to him were his memories of his mom and cocaine. So,
I, all right, moving on.
Mass psychosis feeds on passivity, on silence, on blind conformity. It thrives when people stop asking why. Have you noticed how difficult it is to have deep, rational conversations in today's world? Why do some people mock questions rather than answer them? Why is dissent so often labeled as hate? Why do those who speak inconvenient truths face more resistance than those who peddle comforting lies? Could it
do
be
they?
that we are not dealing
Those actually we have answers for those things.
Yeah.
We actually have answers for those things. Where are we at? Is that 5 or 6? 11.
Uh, that's 511.
511. Um, Hold up, because I want to go
Education,
back.
scientific literacy, those are some of the answers.
Have you noticed how difficult it is to have rational conversations in today's world? No,
Well,
honestly.
that's just biased. That's like,
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
when kids
Yeah.
used to
Yeah.
trick or treat? Remember back when? It's like, no, they still
yeah.
fucking do, asshole.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I wanted to
um,
just kind of throw out here this call to a mythical past,
yes.
that's said but not explicitly, as one bigot does. um where I
Kids
saw a
these
video.
days.
I mean, there's what I need a definition check on rational here, because people have rational conversations. Just because everybody doesn't adhere to your opinion doesn't mean that it wasn't a rational opinion. I mean, a rational conversation. Um, or like, have you noticed, in today's world, why do some people mock questions rather than answer them? Could it be because you're a fucking bigot? And we've already been through this.
Ah,
And, human rights don't deserve, rational conversations. We
yeah.
like
This
it.
just looks like somebody spitballing a horoscope, right? They're
Yeah.
doing this persuasion technique where they're like, "Do you ever notice? And what about this? And you're the kind of person that." And blah, blah. It's like
Mhm.
The Barnum
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
People love to hear about themselves or think that they're special. Yeah, I
Yes.
have noticed that. I've noticed that it's hard to have rational. I'm rational, and people fucking suck. So I'm not. Like that's what they're appealing to, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. Have you ever noticed how things aren't the way they used to be?
Yeah.
You
Remember
have.
when we used to
Well,
just
then
ride our
everything
bike?
else. Then everything else I'm about to say makes sense too now, because
Mhm.
that's how things work. I said one right thing, therefore everything else is going to be,
Oh yeah. And
you're
you
going
know
to
why
adhere
things
to
weren't
my
the same?
opinion.
Because you were fucking 12 years old. Okay. Things are more political now because when you were 12, you didn't think about politics. But guess what people your age back then thought about? Fucking politics. So keep
It's
things in
true.
check.
We wrote it down. You could read about it if you're so
Yeah,
inclined. But you're
exactly.
probably not, because you're relying on AI to do your whole shtick,
Everything. The whole everything.
the whole
I
everything.
mean,
That
and I
was a
mean, I didn't.
frustration with teaching. Ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Having
Oh,
to have
AI.
just having to have firewalls against it.
No, I agree with that. I don't think AI should be allowed anywhere in the educational process for any
And
reason.
so ham-fistedly, like, I had to I've had to hand back papers where it's like you have gotten 100 out of 100 on the homework, but those are only worth 5%. You do,
Hmm.
you do shitty on the in-class tests, and you hand it in a paper that like I couldn't have written in a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like what? Like do you? That's so fucking insulting. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
doing? But anyway, we're talking about the
No, I
harms of
hear
AI.
you. I almost, I don't know. I don't even know what I would do if I were a teacher. It's like, okay, I read your paper. Um, I have questions on it. So in here, what did you mean when you said, like, there should be something where, like, there's a grade on your ability to defend what you turned in. Like, oh my God. But yeah, now I'm just ranting, and back in my day, we didn't have AI. So we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Dealing with ignorance, but with a willful escape from reality. This escape is seductive. It promises belonging, safety, and identity. But at what cost? As we move forward, we'll uncover the psychological mechanisms behind this mass delusion and how certain thinkers predicted
And now we're in the Spanish
Whoa!
section.
Wait,
What is?
what was said right before it?
Oh,
from reality. This escape is seductive. It promises belonging, safety, and identity. But at what cost? As we move forward, we'll uncover the psychological mechanisms behind this mass delusion and how certain
we
thinkers
will not.
Hold on a second. I think I think this is like an Andy Kaufman thing where they're trying to fucking make us crazy. Like right after they talk about mass delusions, they're like, hmm,
Let's incite one.
no I know what the fuck is going on? And then
I,
they're gonna
I,
switch to like Russian later.
I don't. This might not even be like Spanish. It's one of the
No,
Romance languages.
Oh goodness, it's
yeah,
so
I
fancy.
would. It
And
looks.
right
It
after
looks a
that
lot like.
statement,
Yeah.
It does.
it would be
Yeah.
even better if it was in English, but saying completely, I'd rather walk to school than eat my lunch. Aren't strawberries delicious with watermelon? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me
Who knows?
okay. Because I know that Spanish and what do you call it? Italian looks similar. So I'm wondering if it, yeah, and how certain
Well,
it. Okay,
I see
Spanish
an e
detected.
como.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which
Y
is why I
como
was saying it
ciertos.
looks very Spanish. There are definitely some
Yeah.
Spanish. So Google Translate is identifying it as Spanish,
Cool.
and it is translating to what he just said in
Yeah.
English. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's accurate.
certain thinkers predicted.
yeah, but
It's
like
not
even
sending a
in
signal to its Spanish speaking audience.
so, but the thing is, what do you call it? They uploaded these into Google. I mean, into Yahoo too. So not Yahoo, YouTube. God. Um, so that exactly what you're seeing on the screen is how YouTube is showing in the transcript. So you just, if you're not catching a word, fuck you.
It's hilarious.
Did this descent decades ago. We'll also explore how you can protect your own mind from being absorbed by this collective hypnosis. But most important,
And now we're back to English.
But most importantly, okay, good. The important stuff is in English. I know English. Cool. Let's do that. I think that was a Spanish message. Like that in Spanish it said, "Please don't listen to this.
Right.
Save your money."
You don't need to listen to this. Just leave
Yeah.
money. You can do so right here.
You're the smartest.
Totally.
What are these weird puppets?
That is a great question.
They're all bald.
Oh,
That's
they're
what we look like
puppets.
when we're all desperate.
Yeah. That's us just, eating, just drinking it in and doing what we're told because we're all puppets.
Well,
this is us. It's clearly the three of us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to link it logically to what has been said. There was a classroom scene a moment ago, and now it's
no. Okay. This is just them making fun of us because we're puppets.
Yeah.
We'll expose the final key, the powerful tool that
Okay, that's a key. That's a key for bingo.
Very few dare to use, the one that frees you completely, and that's coming later in this video. So until then, reflect on this.
The solution.
Are your thoughts really your own?
You got to watch the whole thing first.
Are my thoughts really my own? Am I thinking your thoughts? Yeah.
Thoughts of the crowd echoing inside your head. Take a moment to sit with that question. Let's go deeper. Think back to a time when you disagreed with the majority, not out of stubbornness, but because something inside you whispered, this doesn't feel right. Perhaps it was during a debate, or while watching the news, or maybe in a classroom when everyone applauded.
While watching this video.
Yeah. Indeed.
You stayed quiet, or maybe you spoke up and paid the price. This moment, though subtle, was a fracture, a glimpse into the mechanism that governs social conformity and silences inner truth. The human brain is not only designed for survival, but for belonging. Our ancestors needed the...
That's true.
Drink.
But in this context, it is being weaponized to make such a shitty point, right? This is this is an advertisement, right? This is propaganda.
Yes.
This is a problem. Be worried. This is fucking outrageous. You don't want to be one of these tools, do you? The final key is coming up.
Like, you had to think for yourself the way we want you to think, not the way they want you to think.
Mm-hmm.
If you think the way they want you to think, you're a puppet. You got to think the way we want you to think, because that is thinking for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this image is probably the lowest quality AI slop that we've seen so far, I think.
This is pretty high quality stuff, so that's saying something. It's still better than I see on average, ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's fair. But none of these have faces. Like, if you look close, or if they do, they're all horrifying.
Wait, do we have, just really quick, do we have, like, this one in the orange looks like a pig.
This one?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Snout.
And
the guy to his right,
like throwing the question marks up.
Like, is that his mouth? Like, what the hell?
I think that's his mouth. They look kind of like Dementors are described. A little bit. And then the things like, is this an arm? What is this?
Maybe that's his finger? Is he playing the drums?
Where would there be a drum? There's no drum.
No, I mean, okay, maybe he thinks he's playing the drums, and
they're about to do like In the Air Tonight, and he's like doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
It was so nice of them all to like make those question marks and throw them into the air simultaneously.
Yeah.
The tribe. Exclusion meant death. That primal programming still exists in us today. But now, instead of fearing lions in the savannah, we fear being the odd one out. We fear ridicule, isolation, judgment. And mass psychosis takes full advantage of this primal fear. Psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a famous experiment.
Really quick, again, and I know this is, everybody knows this, we're social creatures. So we it's not just like the fear of being alone. It's like driven by an actual emotion, um, because of the way we evolved. It's not. I don't want anybody to think that. It kind of feels like he's going into this like her definition of like, oh, empathy is um, a sin, or it's taking us away from our true selves. Um, it, it it's just kind of I don't know, came along for the ride, but
Yeah, we're a social species.
yeah,
Like it.
yeah. I mean, and after like hundreds of thousands of years of that, like yeah. But I'm
into the
not an
1950s,
evolutionary biologist, so we'll move on.
he showed participants a series of lines and asked them to identify which
There
ones
it is.
matched in length.
Ash
The correct
study.
answer was obvious. But when actors in the room purposely gave the wrong answer, the real participants, under pressure, also gave the wrong answer, just to conform. The need to fit in overpowered.
Is this so? I don't think he brings this up, but I've heard people talk about the so-called crisis of like replication in psychology, and I feel like this experiment was one of those that. But maybe I'm pulling that out of my butt.
So the replication crisis in psychology definitely touches on a bunch of stuff. There are now I don't know about the Ash study, so I can't speak about that. The replication, it's the ability to replicate that. Stanley Milgram, his studies have been scrutinized and haven't been able to be replicated the way that he demonstrated them to be.
Well, they also would be unethical to reproduce in the way that he did them, I think.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. But like, the ethical version, no one's able to pull off. And then looking at his notes, they realized that like certain
Mm.
ways that he described it would have made it clear to a bunch of people that like the actor wasn't actually in pain, and like the conclusions that, oh, people are 30% of people, or what was it, 60%, I think.
It was a lot.
More than it was statistically significant amount of
Yeah.
people were willing to comply in a
Hmm.
way that they should, where they killed the actor for all intents and purposes.
Right.
Or were like, or no, I think that the majority of the people kept going, and only like 30% went all the way to the. I'm making numbers up, but a smaller
Yeah.
percent went all the way to the top. Where like and then at the top, they're like, there's no response coming from the other room, right? That's the way that they describe it. Like the guy cries of having a heart condition, the actor, at one
Yeah.
point, and then once you get to a certain amount of, and for those of you not familiar, just think of you're in a study and you're supposed to teach somebody something, and every time they get something wrong, you have to shock them. And every time you shock them, the shock increases. Now, the person who is there, you don't know, is actually an actor. You think they're a fellow participant. So that's
Right.
the,
Yeah. I mean, to the point where you'll kill them just because you're asked to.
yeah.
Um, they didn't, but like had they, oh God, okay. So again, I'm horrible with numbers, but it's saying that all participants delivered what they believe to be electric shocks up to 300 volts, and
Mm.
65% administered the maximum shock
Which
of
was
100.
labeled just with like X's. It
Yeah.
like it
It was
didn't even
just a
have
huge
numbers.
rotometer dial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you would need that too, because like man, I haven't looked at the Milgram study since college, but I don't know that, you had a bunch of electricians in there, right? Like, so, I mean, for people to be like, oh, 450, is that bad? You would need,
What?
And that's
And that's
the
why they
problem
had
with
the actor
sampling
like
bias.
screaming and stuff, like in
well,
pain. Like
yes,
yeah,
yes,
so
all of
you
that.
didn't it was it
But, I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, when you were saying it was high, like, yeah, that 65% is what I was looking for. And I was just like, yeah, I know it was high, but like, it's nuts that
And
at
also
that
sampling bias.
level,
Like the people that he
65% of
was
people
testing.
are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you can see some of the tests
Hmm.
online if you go to YouTube and you look up Stanley Milgram tests. There's black and white footage. A
Yeah.
lot of his participants were a little bit older. and from the rural area coming
Yeah.
into like big city Harvard or wherever it was, in a laboratory with a guy with a white coat and a clipboard in the
Right.
1950s. You know what I mean? That meant something different than it does now. There's still a white lab coat effect, but like I do studies where I have to have people comply with things to make them stressful, and sometimes they're just like, no, right? Like, I don't think Stanley Milgram would have run into that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The evidence of their own eyes. Let that sink in. This is how mass psychosis begins, not with monsters and dictators, but with ordinary people afraid to stand alone. Now amplify that across millions of individuals. Multiply that fear by the reach of social media, the power of manipulated news, and the speed of modern communication. You now have a psychological virus, an epidemic of obedience,
What the
infecting minds and
That
fuck?
was quick. Holy shit!
I,
What is this? Shake and bake?
yeah.
Just throw a little this, throw that, a chicken, you're all done. Almost out of the crisis.
No,
You
amplify
start with
that across.
normal people, you add Facebook, and you get genocide.
Chaos.
Ta-da!
Magnets.
Oh.
Now, amplify that across millions of individuals, multiply that fear by the reach of social media, the power of manipulated news, and the speed of modern communication. You now have a psychological virus. The fuck is that?
I don't know, man. That was some ramping up.
Is this like the woke mind virus?
It's not as bad as that. Let's get crazy.
I mean, I just want
scale.
to be clear that this isn't a thing, people. Just, God.
But there's more. When people abandon their own thinking, they don't just become neutral, they often become aggressive. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned us,
What
madness
the
is
fuck
rare in
does that mean? When people, I mean, okay. I want to I need a definition on that. When people abandon their own thinking, because I had a conversation with somebody about this recently, where it's just like, I don't. There's not really any such thing as an original thought. We're all taking things that were given to us that exist into the world. Now you may have it may morph or have a different a twist. Like I may be a different parent to one kid than, like, a slightly different parent to one kid than another, because of um reactions, or their personality, or da 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 da. But I'm not like just making up parenting whole cloth. Like I mean and earlier it's kind of like you were saying, where we have schemas, heuristics, stereotypes of, like, it's just what our brain does to get through the day. We're not making up new things every time we have an experience. I mean, do you know how exhausting that would be? Like I'm learning my way to work every day. I'm relearning how to do my job every day. I'm I mean, trying to judge whether or not this is a safe situation every day. Like, makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm ranting.
Yeah, but if you're like these enlightened people, then you do you have to every day you are a silo of um, completely independent wisdom.
He's calling it, and because, like, I don't know, this stream is about as bad as the Bedell stream, where it's just like, what are you even saying to me right now?
Right?
Sorry, there's this streamer called Bedell. I forget his name because my brain's exploding right now. He puts words, like, they're all English words. I don't understand why he puts them in the order he puts them in, but they
Yeah.
are all words. And it's kind of how I feel with this right now.
Mm.
Like, you know,
It's a little word salady. It's just
yeah,
so many big words put together, mashed.
we now have a psychological virus, an epidemic of obedience, infecting minds at a scale. But and I don't know. And I'm just like, it's just what your mind does. It is what your mind does every day. And it's or your mind. It's what your brain does every day. And when it no longer suits you, you may say, okay, hey, I might need to change this. But a lot of times we don't even do that. And it's not an epidemic of obedience. It is what the brain naturally does. don't I, I don't like the way he's phrasing words.
Yeah.
They don't just become neutral, they often become aggressive. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche warned us, madness is rare in individuals, but in groups, parties, nations, and ages, it is the rule. A society that suppresses truth doesn't become peaceful, it becomes hostile to truth-tellers. This is why you'll notice a strange phenomenon. When someone
Okay, so
calmly
real
presents...
quick, so he's saying this is all madness, and I don't recall madness ever coming up when I was in school, and I haven't read anything about it.
Yeah, is that a like a term of art in psychology? If I go to the DSM-5, is madness in there?
No.
Bummer.
So I mean, it just kind of sounds like he's using scare tactics to
Well, he's
make you do the thing that he's telling you shouldn't do.
Yeah, he's using Nietzsche. So, yeah.
She would be so proud.
You mentioned Jung, Descartes, Nietzsche. You know, he's working through all the classics.
Yeah.
Doesn't become peaceful, it becomes hostile to truth-tellers. This is why you'll notice a strange phenomenon. When someone calmly presents evidence, logic, or reason, the crowd reacts with rage, mockery, or censorship. Not because
When
the
does this
information is wrong.
happen?
It happens in flat Earth discords.
You'll notice. You'll notice it happens.
Yeah.
So
You remember when kids used to trick or treat?
I just want to say, oh my God. And I think, Marty, we were talking about this too, where it's just like, when I talked to so many people about this, I can't even remember who I was saying what to. People will reject facts when you are saying something that is contrary to something that they have taken on as a part of themselves, their personality. There's a word I'm trying to figure out here.
Cognitive dissonance?
No.
Okay.
The cognitive dissonance is different. I'm
Yeah.
talking about flat out rejection of facts,
Okay.
much like with your flirt friends. It's no longer about truth or what's real. I have a vested personal interest in believing this, and you taking this away from me means X. So we will see. And it's kind of like I was saying earlier, like if I want to be super generous, yeah, we can dissect this to a point where it makes sense, but I feel like I shouldn't be this generous here.
Sometimes they want you to play the generosity game so that they can Trojan horse their horseshit in. Sometimes that's just like the precept takes advantage of, well, do you know everything? Are you certain about that? Oh, well, no. Like, you know, you try to answer all casual. They're like, how can you be certain about anything then? God is. It's like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? You need to know somebody who's certain to be certain. Who the fuck told you that? How did this conversation? I just was nice to you. That's what it feels
Oh my
like.
God. Who did
Sir,
the video?
this is a Wendy's.
Right?
Very good. Very good.
You
I just
know,
want extra salt on my fries.
no, who did that video where the AI bot knocked him down? Where it's just like, oh, this is going to drive me nuts. But there was an apologist who was asking Grok or something stupid. It's just like, with the normal precept or bullshit. And it was just like, no, like okay, let's say you know a God and the God knows everything. You can't be certain that you are then getting the knowledge.
Yeah.
Unless you're told in such a way that it can't be wrong.
But,
How?
what
Yeah,
way would that
there's
be?
that. Yeah. That's that part.
Questions, fucking
That
questions.
part.
Personal revelation, spiritual revelation.
Whatever
Yeah.
you just said made Jillian's kid laugh. So 2 thumbs up.
I think it was the Wendy's comment.
But the thing is, I mean, I don't know. I was having this argument with my brother earlier a couple of weeks ago. It's just like he's like, "Well, we're all going to know when we die," and I'm like, "No, we're going to know what God wants us to know when we die, right? Like, there's no guarantee that we're all going to know everything God knows when we die." He didn't like that.
Wrong, but because it threatens the false safety of their illusion. It's not stupidity in the intellectual sense. Many people caught in mass delusion have degrees, titles, status, but intelligence without awareness is like a ship without a compass. You can be brilliant and still deeply lost. And here we reach the painful irony. We are surrounded not just by ignorance, but by educated confusion. Information.
Educated confusion. I kind of like that term, actually. I don't know
I
what
like
it
the
means,
term.
but I feel like I could turn it into something good.
I like miseducated confusion. I
Yeah.
say that a lot. Or I mean, isn't that just a disinformation campaign? I don't know what any of this means. Marty, would you like to take a stab at that?
I don't always use big words, but every once in a while I like to non-cyclic photophosphorylate about these things, and no, I have no idea.
What? That was so profound. Why'd you stop?
Well, when you use big words, and string them together, every once in a while you get
Something that
photosynthesis.
photosynthesis. Something that sounds like it should have come out of the new age bullshit generator. Am I right?
Well, depends on your medulla oblongata, hyphenetically speaking.
Is everywhere, but wisdom is scarce. People have facts, but lack clarity. They know what to think, but not how to think. They mistake consensus for truth and compliance for virtue. This is not entirely their fault.
What if I comply to what you want me to comply to? Is that
Oh,
is
well,
that virtuous?
yeah.
The levels of irony,
Right.
as this propaganda tries to tell us about propaganda, it's just like, holy
Yeah.
cow, buddy. You don't want us to think that critically, though, huh?
No, just, critically enough to believe him. Give him money.
Modern society is designed to distract. Schools teach memorization, not critical thinking.
Good schools teach critical thinking.
So, I mean, are we talking about American schools? Because, I don't like modern society. Like, that's too broad. Are we,
That's so
like,
broad.
I'm not disagreeing that there are schools that just want to distract kids for 6 to 8 hours. And yeah, there are parts of school that want you to memorize, let's say,
Yes.
terms and definitions, just so we can make sure that we're talking about the same goddamn thing before we
Yeah.
go into the science chapter, but again, I feel like I'm being too generous because what he is saying here is you can't believe what people who are not me are saying to you. Just me. Give me money. Am I wrong? Anybody else want to try to steel man this?
I don't know that has he asked for money yet? We may have skipped the part where he asked for money.
No. I want to just saying here. I believe it's implied.
Yeah, fair.
Willing to be wrong on that,
Yeah. Okay.
but I mean it's a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And you should absolutely give us money.
Everything is AI, and like I don't like if you cared about parsing out information. I mean, I have more respect for Bedell, for Morgue Official, for fucking Roger at Mud Fossil University. Like I feel like they believe their shit, and they're really
Right.
trying to make money, but help people, but make money. But also help people. Like they feel like more people need to, I just need to get the word out so that I can make money. But nobody else has the knowledge I have. So I also want to help people while making money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like this is just, hey, Grok, spit something out. Give me a bunch of
That's
artwork.
exactly what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, it
Upload, cha-ching.
Yeah. It's just combining all of these shitty, already existing conspiracy theories about like schools aren't really teaching you what you want to know. They're keeping you asleep because, you know, because the government wants you not smart because then you can start questioning them. And there's some elements of truth to that. Some might think that, like, well, hey, fucking Trump says he likes the low IQ, low educated people.
I believe that.
But
I love the poorly educated was the
is that,
quote.
thank you.
I do believe that. It's one of the few
But
things
yeah,
he said that I believe. But yeah.
there is a fun little tie-in with IQ and the history of IQ, right? Because Arthur Jensen in the 1969 said that there's two different kinds of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And the low intelligence should have a different kind of education than the people with high intelligence. And the people with low intelligence should have rote memorization. So this has a double effect of meaning that, like, well, if all school children are getting rote memorization, that's how you teach low IQ people. And of course, Jensen, when he says low IQ people, he means children of color. So
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of down there with the globalist or
the globalists.
No, that's
all the other dog whistle terms that,
yeah.
or my favorite, urban youth. What are you gonna do? But yeah, did I lose Menno? I do like this comment here. The original purpose of American schools was not to educate the children. I mean, it was to educate. It was to give them the knowledge that
To
I think
be
that
useful tools of capitalism.
yes, um, giving them a safe place to be during the day, like out of the parents' hair, long enough to learn what they needed them to know to be a parent and work for society. So yeah, in our current school system, it has a lot of outdated things that reflect its origins, and also is the most dangerous place for minors right now. So it, you win some, you lose some, or you just won't lose it all. You know.
Media sells emotion, not accuracy. Social media rewards outrage, not wisdom. We are trained to react, not to reflect. So what's the antidote? It begins with reclaiming...
How dare you say that, okay? We would never, ever have a YouTube show that is based on reacting, okay? That doesn't...
Look, somebody's got to react to this bullshit. I'm telling you, I saw like there were 20 to I did a screenshot to Maute, and I'm like, I really feel like we need to cover this because like when I can't remember what the search was I used, but it was just like my whole recommended was on mass psychosis, and
Yeah.
they were all AI slop videos.
Hmm.
It's just it's nuts, and all within the past 2 months.
Crazy. I also, this person on the bed
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of do you guys know the cartoon character Cat Dog, where one
Yeah.
side was the cat head and one side was the dog? It's the same thing here. They don't have legs. It's just
Oh, they don't.
they just I think merge into each other. And they're being watched by all these creepy ghost-like figures.
Well, if they don't watch
You
them,
must
who
build
will?
an inner firewall.
Yeah, fair.
One that filters the noise, questions assumptions, and protects your inner clarity from being hijacked by the collective. Begin by...
You need to build a firewall to filter out bad stuff, and let me tell you what you should put in your filter.
you need to have a self-respect filter, and I'm going to tell you how to get it.
By asking yourself uncomfortable questions. Why do I believe what I believe? Who benefits from me believing this? What if I'm wrong? Or what if everyone else is? And here's another. When was the last time I changed my mind?
For Piha Shirit.
Hmm?
It's the name of
Oh,
the store. For Piha Shirit.
it's supposed to be free spirit.
That's what I
I
was
don't
told.
know if it's supposed to be anything.
See, there's some subtle
Fair
weird ass
enough.
cues that we're interpreting.
Yeah, it's not like if you actually look, like these are all just generic AI objects like this. I think at first your eye is like, that's probably a piece of clothing. What piece of clothing is it? It's nothing.
I I mean, I do, I will give it this. Begin by asking yourself uncomfortable questions. Why do I believe
Yeah,
what I believe?
that's a
Why,
good.
who benefits from me believing this? What if I'm wrong? Um, I think a lot of us have had to do that when questioning a lot of things. Um, but again, I think you should only do that when you have time to actually look into the answer, not to feel superior to other people just because you don't believe what they believe. You
Yeah,
actually have to put time into like why, is this serving me? And if not, what else is out there?
yeah. I also don't. I mean, maybe it's because of like my job.
Hmm.
I in the context of my work, I find very little, almost no utility in the question who benefits from me believing this. I can see how that would be the case, perhaps in other situations, but
Well, I
who
mean,
benefits is distinct from the truth or falsity of your belief. Uh,
I would say in everyday things, opinions, I think you should. You're a PhD physicist working in your field.
it, it,
Ostensibly, you should have already asked that question.
yeah, but also it just doesn't come up like
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's
it
like, lawyers aren't thinking, when they're working with the law, like who benefits from this? It's not the,
that makes a lot of sense. That would be if you're not thinking about that, then you're not doing your job, I think, as a lawyer, because that is specifically
it's not a lawyer's job to change the law. It's to interpret
t-
it and work within it for their client. Now, if
exactly,
we're
they're
talking about
advocates.
for a politician, for advocates, for the people, yeah, we should be looking at laws and things like that. And a lawyer outside of the job, like looking at the law and saying, "Hey, this is misinterpreted," or this is bad for society. I need to get help outside of the confines of my job because, like, again, okay, so like I'm an HR director. My job is to enforce the rules, right? It's not I have a corporate office. Their job is to make the policies. I work within the confines of the policies. If I kind of serve the function of a lawyer for the employee. So if there's something where it's like, for instance, you're not coming to work on time, that is against the attendance policy. Um, but you know, maybe the director of nursing can work something out where we can have another nurse stay half an hour late so that you can be half an hour, or they can start half an hour late so you can be half an hour late. We've had things like that happen, so that we're keeping a good nurse and still keeping patients covered, like there's no gap in coverage for the patient, or um, maybe you need to be on FMLA, and that's another law that I can use to intercept the rules. But we're still keeping the rules intact. So like you can work as a lawyer, but I can also advocate to the company and say, hey, this rule isn't working. And I can advocate to a corporate office where the CHRO, I'm sorry, Chief Human Resources Officer. So she's the one that actually makes the rules that I am employed to enforce, and saying, "Hey, this is not working at the employee level. I need you to do X, Y, or Z with this thing. And that is, within my job, and I can be an advocate, but it's also not something I would do for one person. I would have to see this, like I would have to take information upon average, whether it be at my site or a collection of the talk to other HR directors and say, hey, are you having this? Okay, we need to collectively go up and say, hey, this law or rule, whatever, isn't working. But it's not my job to do that per se. It's kind of, yeah, I can do it within the role of my job, or in the role of an employee, but it wouldn't even necessarily have to be me. The director of nursing can also do this, petition to the CHRO on behalf of the employees because something isn't working. So I don't know. I do think, I don't know, like the HR person very much as a lawyer, I would hope that more HR people are acting as the employee's attorney and not the employer's attorney, because the employers can afford attorneys. um, and and they almost always have them, so they don't need me to act on their behalf. My role is to act um, as a benefit, as a resource to the humans, so that if they're giving it their best effort to be there and work, that I'm making it, I say as easy as possible, but helping them to the best of the ability of the company, and and for them to be able to do that. So, long way of saying, I don't think that. Oh fuck, we were just talking about laws for some reason.
Benefit from you having this belief.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So going back to you and your benefit, I would think that you should. I mean, I would hope as a physicist, there are things that you're doing. You're on the cutting edge of some kind of technology. What is the benefit of this? Why am I doing this? What is the end goal? What do I expect to achieve?
Maybe I should. I don't. I I I do it because I find it, mentally stimulating, and I enjoy it. And I
Okay,
mean,
fair
at the
enough.
meta level, um, I do think I think everybody benefits generally if you have greater, scientific understanding of the world. Um, so I guess in that sense, but it certainly it that that is a reason to value science. It is not a reason to believe that the atoms I work with are electrically neutral. like,
No, I mean, I'm not asking you to bend physics.
yeah, like the conclusions that I come to about physics, I reason through from a physics perspective, not
Sure.
from
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
But
sort of
okay.
what I
And
mean.
yeah, we're so way off topic here, but I have to know this. If
It's okay.
something,
Chat is firmly on topic of what for Piha
oh yeah, Chad's gonna
Sharidi
have
means.
this. By the time we work out physics, Chad is gonna have this whatever the fuck is happening on the screen here figured out. But okay, let's say you go in here and, to the best of your knowledge, atoms, when you shoot atoms with a laser, they're supposed to act like this and don't. I mean, at
Yeah.
some point, right? Like, if it's not acting the way it's expected to act, you do have to ask the question. Am I right?
Yeah, I have to figure. Yeah, I think I have to figure that out. But the I'm not gonna. But my reasoning through that is not going to involve the question, um, like what will people think if I
Who
come
benefits? I
to
think we
conclusion X
started
versus
this from
conclusion Y?
Yeah, who
Yeah.
benefits from me believing this?
Yeah. Exactly. I'm not gonna think about it that way. I may think about how people how it will be responded to and how to argue a point in it. Like writing a paper, thinking about how to communicate a point is very important.
Okay,
But
yes.
and there can come a point where you will be cognizant of, okay, I don't want to like say a bunch of stuff that is going to like insult the people that give us our grants. Okay, I don't really know how that would like come up, but
No,
like there's politics and
I
everything, but
right. No,
I'm not
because
we're not
I know Marty's just like zoned out at us, but like for me, I don't know. I like knowing how people think. So when you're just like, wait, if I
I've
shot an atom and it didn't
I've
act the way
pissed
I
off people who give us grants, so I'm locked in. I know exactly what you're talking about. But with
yeah.
psychology, it's a little different.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, because psychology, and I think I dated a guy who's an economist, and they do not like being told that things aren't like I need people to act this way or I need money to flow this way. They don't want to hear. No. All right.
Yeah.
Because of new evidence, not social pressure. That question alone can shatter illusions. Carl Jung believed that one of the most dangerous things in life is to follow the crowd while believing you are thinking for yourself. He urged us to confront the shadow, the unconscious parts of ourselves we deny. And in today's world, the collective shadow is growing darker. Projection, blame, hysteria, all signs of a society in psychological distress.
The
This
collective
isn't
shadow.
new.
The collective shadow is
This is
growing
scaring
darker.
the shit out of me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to get off this thumbnail?
No,
Or
I
not
mean,
thumbnail, but the AI pic?
Some nightmares.
it's
Huh?
horrifying.
Said it's going to give you nightmares. It's
Yeah.
going to give me
But the
nightmares.
key is this. You are not powerless. You are not doomed to drown in this sea of madness. In fact, your awareness is the very lifeboat others are seeking, even if they don't know it yet. As
I
you
mean,
awaken from the
you're
mass
just
illusion,
focusing on
you'll
this
notice things
image.
others miss.
Why are
The
you
subtle
like
manipulation
this?
in headlines, the emotionally loaded language designed to provoke, not.
There we go.
All right. You happy?
Yeah.
All right. So wait, I was just like looking at you squirm. That's funny. Your awareness is the very lifeboat others are seeking. Your awareness is the lifeboat that others are seeking.
What the hell does that mean?
It means that he has obtained awareness that you should seek and give him money. I could be wrong.
All right. Fair.
Um, as you awaken from the mass illusion, you'll notice things others miss. The subtle manipulation in headlines that the emotionally loaded language designed to provoke. You see how this is like so Bedell-esque?
Yeah. Sorry, I meant right.
Um, let's see. All right. I feel like I don't know. It's probably late too for Maute. You're
Fair.
East Coast, right? Yeah, he's winding
East
down.
Coast.
How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Pretty well. Pretty good. I mean, I'm tired of shit.
Oh, you
Isn't
know
that
what?
okay?
There's a couple of things I could. Oh, you know what? This is so cute.
Oh.
I say, aw.
I
Yeah.
hope the
So
dog's okay.
yeah, that's why is Vandy not counting the wolves? Were there
Was there?
wolves?
There
We
probably
missed
were
the wolves.
wolves.
Oh, and that super scary one there
I didn't
probably
see any wolves.
was.
I can bring it back up. Hold on.
Why
We
would you
don't have
bring
to
it
do
back up?
that.
That's the
Oh
scary
well, he
one.
just brought it back up. It's scary.
Uh,
He brought it up because what do we do?
Oh, why are you
Do we
doing this?
remove
I
it? Add to scene.
which of
All
these
right.
are?
Are there okay? So how
What?
many wolves are there?
I see none.
I can't
Back,
tell which of these
right,
like might be
black,
wolves.
back, right,
This?
black.
The black
Yeah, this
one?
guy.
Oh, that
I
looks
think.
like a bear. I see bears and rabbits. Maybe a jackass. Donkey. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. All right, we'll give the crowd one. Is
we'll
that
give
does that
one
bring
more.
us to a grand total of one, or how, what are
I
we up
think
to?
so. Well, one question mark because some of the sheep in that first one. Uh,
Oh, you weren't counting the wolf. Okay, Marty. While he's trying to figure out how many wolves were in the video, why don't you let us know? Who are you? Where are you? And what do you have coming up this week?
Well, I like to think of myself as the master of the universe, but no one else seems to believe that. So, aside from that, I'm just
Audacity.
Chris. I'm just the bass player. And I have a YouTube channel, Otherhood. The Otherhood is the neighborhood of others. It is an exploration of scientific racism and eugenics, the history thereof, the science, politics, and history thereof. And I bring it into current events. I have interviews. I have live streams. I have a podcast. Earlier today was the second episode of my podcast on Sir Francis Galton. Go check it out. Later this week, I'm going to be having actually, last Thursday I had an interview with Dr. Patrice Hubert, who is a dietitian and a researcher, talking about the differences and races in nutrition and beliefs about cultural foods. And coming in 2026, I'm going to be focusing on a book called The Bell Curve, which was published in 1994 and set the stage for a whole lot of pseudoscientific beliefs that still exist today. Like if you believe that races are real and genetically justified, come check out my channel. If you think that IQ is mostly genetic, come on over to my channel. If you think heritability is super important when it comes to complex psychological phenomena, come on over to my channel. I'll help you with that.
Yeah, it. You're actually going to go just do a deep dive into the bell curve.
Oh yeah, all next
oh,
year.
That
We've already
okay.
started, but it's prep work.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, you've been talking about it a lot. I've noticed that, but
Yes,
God, all
it's a
right.
lot. It's a lot because I want to be able to handle it in accessible terms. So a lot of videos that I've seen are like, here's how it starts and here's a point by point. And there are parts that need to be taken point by point, but no one ever just like looks at this book is this and it says this and the results
So
are
this
this.
this book is bullshit, and it looks like bullshit, and the results are bullshit. It
Yeah,
seems like a really short strain.
it is. It is, but it'll be fun trying to rework it into a year's worth of information with an explanation and its consequences. That's how the year will be split. The first half of the year is explaining it and the critiques, and then the consequences, because
No,
there's
I do
far-reaching and still existing.
I do appreciate that because I want to say, was it Three Arrows? I think did 3 hour takedown of it. Um, that was years ago, and I
Yeah,
think
Sean
most
also did.
Sean. You know what? I'm thinking of Sean. I am,
Yeah,
and
and Sean's is great.
it's great. Yeah. But it's old and it's not making the algorithm anymore. And you've probably been noticing, as I have been noticing, that a lot of the points from the bell curve have started to rear their ugly head. So uh,
That's
it'll
exactly right.
it'll be great to have that back in the algorithm. Vandy, do
Yes.
you have anything coming up anytime soon?
uh, yeah, I'm actually not this week, but next week doing a show on Vandelia's channel.
Oh, cool. What
We're
about?
gonna be with Landon Knoll about talking about sort of the history and evolution of ideas about the solar system and Earth's sort of place in the cosmos and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
that's cool. All
yeah.
right. So tomorrow, I believe I'll have to double check with Dr. Jay Bundy. I'll be on his show. His show. I'll be on Skeptic Haven talking about black shit. We do Black Free Thinkers every other Monday on Skeptic Haven, and so it's a different perspective being in this community as a Black person, coming out of, like, Jay and I aren't don't have an evangelical past, so it's a different perspective, I guess, than a lot of the ones that we're seeing with the rest of the folks. And I think that, representation matters so that more people feel comfortable being in the community and speaking up and staying in. I say all the time, I was about to leave the community when I saw Mandisa Thomas, and she's the one who kept me in because I felt for the very first time ever that there was a space for me, or that I was wanted here at all. So, I am hoping to give that to one other Black person, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. But I do know that representation matters. So I want to try to help Jay keep that going, even though he's an anti-theist and I'm an anti-theist. So it's been interesting. Tuesday coming up, I'll be doing my 4chan for the elderly. I am throwing myself into that elderly group because there's just a bunch of memes out there that none of us understand. And I want people to understand what they're seeing when they see things so that they can stop things. Yeah, I think that's it for me. And then next Sunday we will be back because I know I've been going like every other week lately. But no, we're going to be going with our one day my camera's going to work, I swear. But until then, everybody, please go to YouTube, the Otherhood IQ. Follow Maute. He's got really good stuff over there. He's
I also do like rogue hangs. I call them research happy hours, where I just chronicle what I'm researching while people hang out in the chat. And then usually people pop in and I stop researching and we talk about what I'm researching. Like, it just turns into a hang.
It's a whole thing.
I thought you were talking about like capturing rogues and like publicly executing them.
It's not that we don't do that. I mean, that's what makes it such a happy hour.
That escalated quickly.
But also, do you have an answer to Native? What do you think about the carnivore diet?
The carnivore diet, it's a horror show. Anytime you take a macro and you focus on it, you've lost the plot.
All right. And I swear I'm getting you out of here. I swear. Lilith, I'm sorry, Lil of all trades, gave us 5 more cult members, and those went to DeFreak. I didn't think that would happen. Muttley Von Erich, Dapper Dinosaur, a friend of the show, Christopher Tablante, and Bench Thinker. Thank you. Thank you. New hostess, please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. Does anyone want to say anything before we get out of here?
Sasquatch.
All right. So, Sasquatch. Everybody, remember to be true to who you are, not who you were told to be.